Welcome back, everyone, to another market recap. If you want to get better at trading, this is essentially the ultimate way to do so. There were actually a lot of good trades you could have taken today, so definitely stick around and check out all of them. Take notes on everything I'm saying. If there's anything you don't know, go check out my short form videos. I have videos on all kinds of different things that you can learn about. With that, let's talk about the trade that I took, and then we'll go over trades that other people took as well. So the trade I took was this trade. It was one of the best trades I've taken in a long time, actually. And I'm getting very, very comfortable with these breaker block for value gap setups. You can see we swept liquidity into this 4-hour for value gap. This overlapped with the statistical manipulation level on the stat map for the daily, the daily statistical manipulation level. So I knew this could be a reversal point, and then we got a sharp move up that changed, that shifted the structure, and then at this point, my eyes went to this breaker block, and then also the value gap. And you can see this area that is overlapping is a good entry point for longs. And so since we were close to going into the macro, I thought I'd give this a shot. I entered here with my stop loss below the breaker. And the nice thing about breakers is you can get really good RR on these. And so the idea was we had equal highs above, and I thought that this would be a buy model coming out of this 4-hour for value gap. So we had equal highs above. And now normally I really try not to go for high RR trades, but this was on one of my alternate accounts, so I just felt like I wanted to shoot for something more just because I just wanted to experiment with new things. But in general, I try and shoot for only 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 risk reward trades usually. But anyway, you can see that the idea was I was targeting these equal highs that were up here. And you can see this would have been a really great target. But I noticed that we had the midnight open right in front of the equal highs here. And so I actually took profit before we got to those equal highs because there was the midnight open that was chilling in front of it. And I knew that we'd probably get a reaction off of that midnight open, and I didn't want to have to hold it through that. And you can see we actually did get a reaction off that midnight open perfectly, exactly like I thought. So, but then we continued up and hit those equal highs. But just to be safe, I took profit earlier, and this was like a 4.5-to-1 risk reward trade. So this was actually really, really good. This was going into the macro, and yeah, I thought that was a really good trade. Then we have a trade from Ronnie. So Ronnie took this 3-minute inversion. Right here, you had an IPG. And he entered on this candle close below. I did not personally enter this simply because we had equal highs above. But, see the relatively equal highs, not perfectly equal. But, and I also was trying not to take shorts because I have been so bullish lately. But had I had known we were actually delivering, so this dotted line is the midnight open. Had I known we were delivering from the midnight open, I honestly, I would have probably tried this trade. So this trade was a really good trade from Ronnie, and especially because we're delivering from somewhere. We're delivering from the midnight open. We get that candle close below the old fair value gap, and then you can see the rest is history. Your stop loss goes at the original fair value gap that we inversed candles high. So that was a really good trade from Ronnie. Then we have a trade from FA. FA took this short. So we got an inverse fair value gap. We pushed into this fair value gap up here, swept this high. So we were reacting off this higher time frame level, and then we get an inverse fair value gap, and I will show you that right now. So we sweep these equal highs into this fair value gap. You can see that here. Here's that fair value gap. And then off of this fair value gap, you can see here that this 1 minute fair value gap gets closed below. And this is after we sweep those equal highs and we push into that higher time frame fair value gap. So you enter on the candle body close below the old fair value gap. Now this would have been a little better had this have been closed below in one candle, but this was still decent. And so you enter on the candle body close below the old fair value gap. Stop loss goes at the high of the original the high of the original fair value gaps candle. So stop loss goes here, and you would simply target. Let's see if I can find it. These relatively equal lows. And this would have been a nice 1-to-1 risk reward trade, and that's all you need. If you're risking 200, this makes $200 a day. So very, very nice trade from FA. Then we had this, which was a trade from Dodgy in his server. I was on a voice call with Ronnie and FA, so I didn't end up seeing this. But this was really, really nice. This was going into the macro. We swept out this low, and we swept out this low, and we closed above this 1 minute fair value gap. And all we have here is unprotected highs, and we go straight to these equal highs, which would be your final target. That would be a nice 2.5 to 1 risk reward trade. You can see that here, where we have a fair value gap. We get that close above right here. We have swept out both these lows. Whoops. We swept out these lows, and we swept out these lows here. So we swept out 2 sets of lows. We come up, close above, and then target these equal highs. That would have been, depending where you put your stop loss, because this original fair value gaps candle is really tight, so maybe you want to have a little bit of extra wiggle room. But around a 2.5 risk reward trade up to these equal highs. So excellent, excellent trade from Dodgy. Let's clear out the chart a little bit because it's starting to get a little cluttered here. But you can see how well this trade worked. So there's 4 good trades you could have taken. And then we had another really good trade here where we actually swept out previous day's high. You see we swept out previous day's high. And then was this on the 30-second? Oh, this is on the 2-minute. Oh, yeah. So we sweep out previous day's high. We get a 2-minute inversion here. So we get a 2-minute IPG after sweeping previous day's high. Let's get rid of that midnight open because we don't really need that anymore. But yeah. Sweep out previous day's high. Get this 2-minute close below this old fair value gap. You would enter here. Stop loss goes at the original fair value gaps candle's high. So right here. And then you would simply target probably these lows for a 1-to-1 risk reward trade. That would have worked out really, really well. And then we'll talk about this from Jay. So this is my friend Justice on Twitter. And he took a piece of the trade that I took, 30-point run on NQ, showing how he had a fair value gap here. Now, I don't know if he had what other additional confluences he had here, but I did notice that here he did have, if I go down the lower time frame, you did have see if I can find it. It's on the 32nd. So, because I was taking this trade, right? So I was monitoring it in live time, and I noticed that you had, like he said, I think it was this. It was this 30-second gap. What I was noticing is this breaker, but I guess he didn't enter off of that. Anyway, I actually don't know how he entered, but you can see he caught a nice 30 points off of that. So anyway, let's just move on. I'm not going to edit that out because I just want to keep moving on. Then we have this from Jan. This was last night. It was really, really awesome. Since it was from yesterday, I'm just going to look at it on Twitter here. But you can see that, I guess it's not going to let me zoom in. We got, we had a fair value gap here. We pushed into it, got manipulation into it, closed above on this inversion up to the upside. You would enter here targeting these highs. And he actually made some of it is demo money right now, some of it's real money, but altogether on all of his counts, that was $17,000. So it's crazy stuff. Then let's see. I'll talk about the one trade on eval that I took that was really bad that I should not have taken, but essentially it was a trade I forced. What I was doing is I saw we were bearish. I saw we were going lower. I should not have taken it, especially because we were right next to this 4-hour for value gap. Honestly, this is really actually embarrassing of me to even show this trade, but I'm going to show it just to show you what not to do. Don't take a random 1-minute breaker block with a fair value gap, because guess what? These random ones that are not in line with higher time frame context will not hold. So this was a random one that I took. Unfortunately, yes, I did. I took this on eval. I don't know what I was thinking, but this is really stupid. I lost, but I had a 4.5 to 1, so that definitely made up for it. So yeah, this is just a random 1-minute breaker fair value gap entry within this price leg. It didn't make sense. You want to have some more higher time frame context, like the trade that I took in the beginning of this video. So you just know when a trade has good higher time frame context and when it doesn't, and when it's in line with everything else. So I think that about covers it for today. But if you guys enjoyed this video, definitely consider subscribing, leaving a like, checking out my completely free trading Discord, as well following me on my Twitter, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.